5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming back and joining me for another week and another episode of the Everything Medicare Podcast. Today is November 18th on a beautiful Sunday, beautiful possibly depending on where you are and where you might be listening to this. It might be beautiful some places, but not beautiful everywhere. I hope you're having a good enrollment period. I hope that you haven't been too slammed with commercials, mail, phone calls, and my personal favorite, hour-long television shows that are put on by certain insurance companies that I will not name but rhyme with ooh-ana. And any person that's seen any of those knows what I'm discussing and what I'm talking about. I wanted to bring you an episode that I don't feel like gets talked about enough on a topic that doesn't get talked about enough. And that is what is necessary to have with your Medicare and what is not necessary. Because there's a lot of junk products out there that people push on you. They're ridiculous. They're a waste of your money. And frankly, they shouldn't even really be out there, in my personal opinion, in certain situations. And way more people, than I'd like to admit, I encounter all the time that have these plans that they don't use. They don't even work with what they have in their situation. And they're just not compatible. And people, typically brokers, agents that don't even know what they're doing, or they do know what they're doing and they just have no ethics or morals, and they're just going to set you up with a program that absolutely does you no good to make themselves a little more money. I see a lot of people like that I encounter that are in those types of situations. So in this week, I want to spread awareness and break down information on what you need and what you don't need. So the first thing I want to talk about is hospital indemnity programs. Now, hospital indemnity programs work something like this. They typically are designed, a lot of times, more popularly, you'll see them go with Medicare Advantage plans, because anyone that has a Medicare Advantage plans in most areas of the country, every market is a little bit different, but in most areas of the country, hospital indemnity plans are programs that are designed to help you out with the copays, some of the larger copays of a Medicare Advantage plan. So I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, I have an Advantage plan through XYZ Insurance Company. And through XYZ Insurance Company, I have an Advantage plan that has a hospital copay, let's say. Typically, that's one of the higher copays you're going to run into with an Advantage plan is the hospital copay. So let's say my hospital copay is $200 a day in the hospital is my out-of-pocket for the first 5 days. After day 5, day 6, and beyond, the insurance company pays 100%. Now, what most people don't understand is that is your entire bill on an Advantage plan. That is all the doctors you see. That is all the doctors you don't see. The hospital room, the bed, the anesthesiologist, the MRI, the IV in your arm, everything. You're not going to get a million different little bills for everything that happens to you in the hospital like most insurances. It's all included. That's how providers are required to contract with Medicare Advantage companies. Okay, they're supposed to all bill together. So basically, folks, kind of the way that hospital indemnity plans work is they take whichever copays you want, and some programs will do more copays than others, but I'll give you a fair example. A typical hospital indemnity program will reimburse you that hospital copay or a portion of that hospital copay, maybe $100 per day, or maybe they'll do the full $200 per day. It just depends. Whatever you want, the more they reimburse you per day, of course, the higher the premium is going to be. And the more copays that they're reimbursing you on, the higher the premium is going to be. Different insurance companies and different hospital indemnity products will do more than others or less than others, and they do different things. But that's just a good example. I've seen hospital indemnities that will reimburse someone for an ambulance visit or something along those lines. Basically, folks, If you don't have a Medicare Advantage plan, if you have a federal plan, if you have TRICARE, if you have veterans benefits, and most certainly if you have a Medigap and a Medicare or a Medicare supplement, you do not need a hospital indemnity plan. You don't need it. The hospital indemnity plan works best for someone on Medicare when they have, $200, $300, $400 out of pocket per day in the hospital. That's what that type of program is designed to do. But remember what we've talked about in the past. With Medigaps and Medicare supplements, you don't have out-of-pocket or extremely low out-of-pocket to the point where the hospital indemnity wouldn't even be worth it. At that point, you'd be saving less money than you're even paying for it in premium. A lot of times a hospital indemnity can be $30, $40, $50, $60 a month. I've seen people on them that are $120 a month because, an agent is concerned about their own pocket, not necessarily about your own needs. And they put everything on there, max it out to make your premium higher so they make more money. And, the person doesn't know. They have no idea. If you have a broker that made a recommendation like that when you don't need it, just think about it. They don't care about you. They don't care about your needs. Stay with me into segment 2, and I got a lot more I want to go over about this kind of stuff. Stay right there. Welcome back to another segment of today's episode of the Everything Medicare Podcast, where I, Christian Brindle, for those of you who don't know who I am, bring you a podcast where I talk about your Medicare, your Medicaid, your Social Security, and everything that has to do with your retirement. For those of you who don't know who I am or my background, I grew up around the Medicare world. My father has been working with people on Medicare in Utah, where I live, for close to 30 years now. And he just actually got on Medicare himself this month. He turned 65 a couple of days ago, and his Medicare started the first of the month, and he told me the other day he never thought he'd be on Medicare. So it's something that will impact all of us as long as the Medicare program is in force, which I don't see it going anywhere. No matter what you might see on the news. They've been saying Medicare is going to go away for 20, 30, 40 years. It's still here, still as popular as ever. There's still as much funding for it as ever. They just find a way to keep it on going. So until that changes, I'm going to anticipate it being here for years and years and years and years to come. We're talking about what you need and what you don't need, folks. So last segment I talked about hospital indemnity plans. If you have an Advantage plan, they can be useful, but not always. Let's say you're incredibly healthy, you don't even use your plan hardly ever. It's just an extra premium in that case. It's useful if you have high usage. Let's say you're stuck on an Advantage plan and your usage is very high. Let's say you can't get on to a Medicare supplement due to health questions. And there's a lot of people like that. That would be a case where a hospital indemnity is necessary, but it's not always necessary. There's a lot of people that work in the insurance industry out there that they try to package one with every single Advantage plan that they offer to folks just to make themselves some extra money, whether it's good for the person or not. Avoid those people, my personal opinion. Now, we're also talking about dental plans, dental, vision, and hearing plans. Dental, vision, and hearing plans, folks, really are only going to do you any good if you have a crown, bridge, root canal, multiple fillings throughout the year. But a dental plan, other than those scenarios, unless you have chronic dental problems, you're going to spend more out of pocket for them than you pay for them. Dental, vision, hearing plans work something like this when you're on Medicare. You're probably looking at about a $30 to $40, maybe even $50 per month premium. You're looking at about $1,000 to a $1,500 maximum that the plan will pay out in a year, meaning they won't pay a penny more than whatever your maximum is out per year. And typically they come with a year waiting period, anything major on your dental expenses. So bridges, crowns, root canals, that kind of stuff. There's some things they pay for right away. But now those can be good if you're using the dental plan. It's like any type of insurance. I mean, a lot of this is just common sense. If you're using the dental plan, if you have needs for it, it's good. But a lot of people will come to me and say, well, I'm on this dental plan. I've been on it for a couple of years, and, and I don't really feel that I'm getting the use out of it, and they haven't used it once. They haven't gone to the dentist once. Well, yeah, you're not going to get use out of it in that situation. A lot of this is just common sense. Stay with me into segment 3. I want to talk a little bit more about this stuff as I wrap it up for this week. Stay put. Welcome back, everybody, to segment 3 of the Everything Medicare Podcast. Folks, one more thing I wanted to talk about is life insurance. Life insurance is designed to protect your loved ones if anything happens to you. And life insurance, folks, you gotta be realistic about this, okay? Let's say someone sets you up with a whole life insurance, and I'll talk more about life insurance plans if you folks want me to in future episodes, where I can break down the different types. But in summary, whole life insurance is also known as final expense insurance. It's designed to pay out under $30,000, okay, in the event of, your death. They call it whole life because it lasts for your whole life. It'll basically last until you either, die or until you reach age 100. And whichever one comes first, then they'll pay out either to you if you're still alive at age 100, or they'll pay out to the beneficiary, your spouse, your children, whatever the case may be. Those types of programs are designed to basically just pay for a funeral. Most commonly you're looking at about $10,000 to $15,000, and to pay for, final expenses, hence the term. Folks, if you have health problems, and, the insurance company has to rate you up. Let's say you're paying $120 a month for $10,000. You are going to come out, you typically, unless you're going to die in the next couple of years, you're going to come out behind on that. Because do the math, if you're spending $120 per month, you're spending about just under $1,500 a year in premium. And, that means within 2 years you spend $3,000. Within 4 years you're spending $6,000. 6 years you're spending $9,000. I mean, you probably are very quickly going to pay that out in premiums month by month, little by little. And you're going to end up paying more than the $10,000 that they're even going to pay out to you. Be smart. Do the math. That's what I encourage you. That's the message I want to leave you with this week. Because don't always trust your agent to be honest with you and look out for you. Now, if you have a good agent, they will. But sadly, 95% of agents out there are more interested in themselves than they are about you. That's why I do this podcast every week, because I want people to have good, real information in a world where, in an insurance industry where we really don't have that information available to folks, and I'm trying to make a change to that. If you enjoy what we do here every single week, where we bring you real, unfiltered, and just accurate and unbiased information that you need to know, information that you can't get anywhere else, do us a favor, leave us a review. Whatever platform you may be listening, our friends on Anchor allow us to bring you this podcast on multiple different platforms, and we appreciate that. If you like social media, we have social media platforms all over the place. Christian Brindle Insurance Services on Facebook, on Instagram, Christian Brindle Insurance, on Twitter, Christian Brindle without the E, on LinkedIn, Christian Brindle, on YouTube, Christian Brindle for our educational YouTube videos. We're trying to make a change here. We're trying to help people out that really do need it. Any support that you give us, whether it be sharing our content on a social media page, giving us a good review, it all helps us spread this message. Tell a friend about us, whatever the case may be. Now, if it's still the end of the enrollment period, if you have not had your plan compared to make sure that it's the best thing, and you live in Utah, Idaho, Florida, these are the 3 states that we do business in. And you're always welcome to call me, and I will always give you the most informed information, whether you should stay put or whether you can do something better. Call our office if it's something that you feel like you aren't getting the right help in, and that is 801-255-5340, 801-255-5340. Ask for me, Christian, at Christian Brindle Insurance Services, Brindle Insurance Group, our parent company. We have tremendous experience. We know what we're doing, and we'll help you out. We specialize in Medicare programs. It's all that we do, and it's our goal in life to help as many people as we can and provide information when no one else will. If you don't live in one of those 3 states and you'd like some of my information to kind of help guide you in what you want to do, we just updated my first book that has been a groundbreaker to help people out, Medicare Guidance, Picking the Plan for You. It's been updated for 2019, the Part B premiums, the Part B deductible, and some other important information has been updated in that book. It's now live on Amazon with a new cover, new look, everything. It's a red book with a blue top. Medicare Guidance, Picking the Plan for You by me, Christian Brindle. Head over to Amazon and pick it up. We have it on there for $5.50 because it's the lowest price they'd allow us to have it on there. For that price, we're practically giving it away. And for $5, if you can save yourself hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in making the right decision, it's worth every penny. After getting through that book, you'll know more about Medicare than probably 99% of everybody you have in your life that you know, including your agent. Thank you for listening, folks. I can't wait to talk to you next week, and I hope you're having a great enrollment period, and have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.